Dak in tonight?
Yeah, Dak's playing tonight.
You've experimented with a lot of different options as kind of the fifth guy on the first power play unit. We've seen, I think Suter's there now as of yesterday's practice, but a bunch of guys have been through there. Nils Hoglander, left shot, which is kind of the preferred spot there. He scored, a lot of goals without being on the power play. How come he hasn't been an option yet?
Well, he's been on the other unit. He had the puck a few times in the half wall, and I think everybody wants to press his development, and I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. I think we've been right on that. So we want to try to get Seuss, some other guys going, and this power play's actually looked good the last week. The last 4 or 5 games, it's looked pretty good, like a lot of movement. So I'm not sure that's the right call. It could be down the road, but right now I don't think so.
Rick, since the All-Star break, your team ranks 25th in goals scored. Does your ability to create offense worry you down stretch here?
No, I think it's a little bit more of for me is get inside a little bit more. I felt this month we have not been inside enough like we did at the beginning of the year. Yeah, and we got a lot of fortunate bounces at the beginning of the year, a lot of tip stuff, things off skates, but we're not getting those right now, and I think that's because we're not playing inside. We need more guys to play inside. That's really what it comes down to. You got to beat your man. You beat your man to the net. Be ready. Present your stick. Get inside instead of kind of taking the long way around. And I think we're getting it's a habit we have to stop because it's getting crunch time.
Quinn Hughes talks at length about Chris Tanev, especially the rookie year here, how Tanev just kind of took him in, was his mentor. They were paired together, helped him develop. Coaching against Tanev, I mean, I can't imagine coaches sit there in the room and try to draw up something, how are we going to attack Chris Tanev? What was he like to coach against when you saw him out there blocking shots?
Yeah, he's a guy that's always in the right spots. Yeah. He's very, very rarely gets caught up ice, and if you do get some kind of shot, he's going to probably come out and block it. So pucks behind him, you got to obviously battle with him. I mean, just like any defenseman, sometimes you got to fake a shot, go around. There's little things like you want to do, but yeah, obviously he's a great defensive defenseman.
His face looks like a picket fence with a lot of pieces missing because he'll do anything, right?
Yeah.
When you played, did you have that veteran defenseman in Pitt or Philly who would do anything to win and just a grizzled guy who would play hurt?
Yeah, I remember like when the Cup, Alf Samuelson, he'd block a lot of shots and he was dirty, you go to the net, he's dirty in front. Like there's cross checks, there's ways of making guys not want to go to the front of the net. Kenny Danico, Scott Stevens, those type of guys where, it's the Chara, Pronger, those guys in a 7-game series. If you want to go to the net, you're going to have some ice bags. And I think that's, Tanev's somewhat like that, same type of player.
Sorry, just a quick follow. You can understand why Stars got him then.
Yes. Yeah, well, plus just a smart veteran guy. 3 minutes left in the game. He's a guy that can lock it down, in those tight playoff games. I think that's the reason why Jim Nill grabbed him.
Rick, you've talked about Dakota getting an opportunity to continue to skate. I guess tonight in his return to the lineup, is that much you're looking for him to kind of lean on his skating, I guess, tonight, or what?
Yeah, it's the stopping and starting. It's the corner work. You can only simulate so much. And I think, I talked to him yesterday about that. He's, that's the stuff he was concerned with. I haven't done a lot of that, in-game, moving different directions. And I, told him, don't worry. He's a smart guy. He's a much added guy that we need. So I'm not looking for like anything major tonight. Just looking for him to get back in, doing his thing, trying to manage the minutes and see where he goes.
When you get Archie Baines back up here for a couple practices again, do you see something different after he kind of came up his first chance to learn a little bit, go back down? What's he like coming back here again with talks with coaching staff or RJ, whoever he's talking to?
Yeah, I don't know, like, by looking at yesterday's practice, see if he's learning anything. It's going to be a game. You'll see, I hope if he has a 2-on-1 that he shoots it because the first two he passed them both. So I think maybe we'll know tonight. If he gets a 2-on-1, I hope he shoots the puck, unless the guy's wide open. But yeah, I like the kid. He should just go play, and use his speed, advance the game as it goes, and I think having those games early on is going to really help him. I think the game will be a little bit slower for him tonight. I think because he was here a month ago, I think that's going to be a big help for him.
Is there anything that you talk about with Jeremy Colton after a guy comes up and then goes back down? Is there anything you talk with the coaching staff there, or is that more management side?
No, the management and then RJ or myself, just about how he's, since he was called up, how he's playing. Sometimes guys go down there and they actually they don't play as well because, they've tasted it, but they go back down, this is not, this league, whatever. Like, it can work the reverse. With Baines' character, I don't think it works that way.
So just to confirm then, Joshua and Baines are both in tonight?
Yeah,
And on defense, do you stand with the same six? Or?
yeah, same six,
Okay.
yeah.
Every team poses challenges. Obviously, you haven't seen Dallas since before Christmas. Sometimes when you game plan McDavid, McKinnon, it's the tip of the spear. What about game planning for a team that has 7 20-goal scorers and a defenseman that has 15?
That's it right there. They're a team that plays a solid game. Pete, I know Pete Dwyer well, very like an excellent coach. I know the things that are important to him, some tendencies that they do. So there's a lot of things that do very well. There's not a lot of weaknesses in their game. They know how to play a 1-0 game. They know how to play a 6-5 game. Like they can play any way you want, and sometimes they dictate the game. So it's a great challenge. We've actually played them well the last year, and there've been always tight games. And probably be another tight game tonight.
You guys missed the chance to clinch a playoff spot the other night. You got 98 points. You're going to be there. Should a group, particularly young players that haven't been in the playoffs much, is getting that X beside your name in the standings a big deal, or is it just an eventuality of if you play well, it's going to take care of itself?
Yeah, I think if you get the X, you feel proud about it. I mean, I don't think you can't keep we got to clinch, we got to clinch type of thing. But I do think if when you clinch, you should be proud. But honestly, I'm a short-term goal guy. We should only think about the first period tonight. How can we correct what we did last game and tonight? How do we get to the net harder? How do we score some goals from these type of areas? I think that's what we're trying to learn. And you're playing a solid defensive team, so that's the good thing. We're going right into the fire against a solid team, so we're going to have to go to those areas to score tonight. They're not going to give you freebies tonight.
You've talked a lot about sort of the evolution of the structure and the habits that this team has compared to when you arrived. If you look at back then, how important was JT Miller in terms of getting everyone on board with that significant a change? Because when you got here, the underlying stuff defensively wasn't pretty, and now it's almost flipped, like top four. What role did JT play in helping get buy-in from other guys?
Well, I think it just the one thing, you got to get your players to buy in, right? And that's the big thing, a guy like him or whoever buying into what we're doing and driving play. That's the big thing for us. And I think a guy like Millsy, for me, where, he takes it personal if he's not driving play. That's the attitude of Petey or Quinn, our star guys or leaders. There's going to be times where we're going to need them to drive the play. They got it. If the game's not going our way, whatever it is. I don't mean taking the puck and skating out through the whole ice and trying to deke everybody. I'm saying just drive play, taking over a game. And I think that's when Millsy will tell you after a game, if he doesn't feel like he played well, he'll tell you because he didn't drive play. And I like that attitude. Love the attitude when he has that attitude for us. Who's that? Giuseppe and Amon are out.
I know that yesterday you suggested that Lindholm's situation wasn't serious or long-term. I don't know if any more information has come out since then. Is that still your thoughts on it?
Still, it's a state of day. I think sometimes you get a little good news every day. So I actually have not talked to them today. Too worried about game planning, but I knew he wasn't playing tonight. So, but it's one of those day-to-day things right now. Hopefully, he feels better tomorrow, and then we can go from there.
And is there a plan to get Shelovs into a game? Certainly looks like not tonight, but what's the thought there?
Yeah, no, I think I talked to Clark the other day, and it's it's important that in the next 3-4 games, it could be the next game. I'm not quite sure. We haven't gone that. We haven't specifically said, but there's definitely he will be in the net here in the next few days here, what game he plays, or maybe a couple of games. We'll see how it goes.